Welcome to part 33 of Ocarina of Time, and in this episode, we are going to go to the Desert Colossus, where we'll learn the way to get into the Spirit Temple. No, seriously, there's actually you have to actually do something to get into the Spirit Temple. For the time being, there is the bridge. It has been rebuilt thanks to the 4 carpenters we've rescued. They'll even lampshade it in the tent, and he will lampshade it right here. If their boss wasn't so much of a hard ass, maybe they would not have to go all the way over to Gerudo Fortress to try to become Gerudo Thieves. And that bridge would have been done a long time ago. Anyway, we can now go wherever we want. I could go to the training grounds, I could go to the archery training. Sadly, archery training actually ended up becoming a game in the Zelda franchise we all would like to forget. But, yeah, that is basically what happens when you make a very fun minigame like the Gerudo Archery into an actual game. But nonetheless, we're going to be going up top to the gatekeeper, sorry, and we're going to open the gate. Now, here's a little word of warning when going through this desert. Once you successfully beat the 2 trials and make it to the Desert Colossus, in order for you to come back here, you're going to have to literally use the Serenade of Water and come back to Gerudo Valley the hard way, because there's no way in hell you're going to be able to go through the Desert Trials the reverse way from the Desert Colossus. You will get lost. It is hard to do. So if you have anything you want to find, or if there's any goodies that is out here in the desert, which there more than likely is, I'm not saying more than likely, there are goodies out here, like a couple of heart pieces and a couple of Stultulas. But seriously, people, that is why I won't be doing 100% on this game, because it is pretty damn complicated to pull that off. So nonetheless, we'll be going to the gate, and we will be heading out to the trials. Now, funny thing, the trials that we'll be doing will be first hookshotting from the area that we're on right now to the box. Hookshot to the box. Hookshot to the box, stupid. I mean, long shot to the box. I forgot, hookshot's been improved. Yeah, and be careful where you land. You might end up landing in a quicksand. Anyway, you're gonna have to find out where these flags are in this very dangerous desert. If you end up inadvertently finding the wrong flag, you will end up wandering out of bounds, which will cost you a heart. It's like falling off the cliff. The same thing with the other trial. Oh, and be careful, by the way. If you inadvertently land in the quicksand, there is no way out. Funny thing, you can actually use your hover boots to keep yourself from sinking into the sand. However, you lose traction, and you may end up slipping out of bounds. That's like risk with rewards. No. Okay, let me rephrase that. That is just a risk in general. So they mimic, so by they I mean Nintendo, mimics the Desert Trials with something completely similar, like the Seahorse Trial, and they do that in Majora's Mask. It's just as irritating there as it is here, which is why I hate the Great Bay Temple. Getting there is, like, the problem. But nonetheless, now it's time for the second half and why we need the Lens of Truth. You see, this ghost here? We have to follow this ghost through the trial. Now, you can redo these trials over again from Gerudo Fortress, going to the Desert Colossus. But you can't go back the reverse way, because the guy won't be there to show you where to go, and you'll end up going back to the beginning. But anyway, keep your eye on the Poe. You can see where the Poe's shadow is. I mean, you could turn off the Lens of Truth. I mean, I've done it before, but I don't recommend that to anyone. You will lose your way eventually. Some people actually pulled it off. Some people actually did it, but for some that don't know the way to the Desert Colossus, they will get lost trying to be brave and not Lens of Truth on. In short, you kind of need it for this area. And now we're here in the Desert Colossus. Oh, and you might want to be careful, because all the sand near the Desert Colossus is quicksand, sort of. In some way, shape, or form. It will eventually swallow you, and it will take a heart from you. Now, let's get a bomb, because guess what? The Desert Colossus isn't the only thing we're trying to get to. No, we're gonna have to actually blow something up. Hooray, that's a good thing. We haven't done that in a while. Damn enemies. They're just assholes. Anyway, after blowing that up, we now come in for the final crystal upgrade that we will be getting. All we need to do is just play Zelda's Lullaby. Excuse me. And the final crystal that we'll be getting, I wouldn't call it an upgrade, but more like it's basically the better of the three. No, wait, let me rephrase that. It's just as good as Dinfire. It's just as good. Anyway, what we're getting is Nayru's Love. And Nayru's Love is probably the most broken spell out of all three crystals. Think of it like this. It's temporary invincibility. Except for fall damage and, you know, traps that involves crushing. But it's basically invincibility for the time being. The only thing Nayru's Love is not good against is Ganondorf. Believe me, I tried. Anyway, it's sort of a late game weapon to get, but by God, is this useful. There may be some commentators who don't use it. Me, I use it because, well, I never leave home, or more likely never go to the Desert Temple without it. That's just how I play. Stupid bird. And these things. I think they're called levies, or levels. Whatever they're called, they're a pain in the ass, and seriously, the Bicaron sword just makes short work of them. No, go away! Go away! I've got something important to do. And I'm gonna do that right now. Stand right here on this rock, and play the Song of the Storms. Now, what's so important about this? Instant Fairy Fountain! So, if you ever find yourself in a pinch, low on fairies, just simply stand on that rock and play the Song of Storms. You'll get yourself a free pond where you can just pick up fairies. And I hope they like milk, because I just basically had Long milk in there. That's been there for the last couple of parts. Yeah. Milk does a body good, you know. So nonetheless, we are done here, so let's go to the Spirit Temple itself. Nope. Back away from me, heathens. Back away. Back away. You guys suck. Oh yeah, and one other thing. This is a very special temple. And this is one of my favorite temples in the game. I like this temple, and I definitely love the music of it. Thing is, we won't be actually coming here as an adult. That is the special thing. As you can see here on the writing, it's telling you to come back with the heart of a child. Meaning, you're not going to be able to complete part of this dungeon as Kid Link. I mean, as Adult Link. You gotta come back here as Kid Link in order to complete the dungeon. So, we'll have to leave. Oh yeah, and you have to read the statues in order to trigger this cutscene. And now to get the last song of the game from Sheik. This should do it here, too. Past, future... No, past, present, future. Sorry. The Master Sword is a ship which you can sail upstream and downstream through the rivers, through Time's rivers. The port for that ship is in the Temple of Time. Y'all need to stop sailing down the Port of Time. You might cause time paradoxes. Anyway, to restore the Desert Colossus and enter the Spirit Temple, you must travel back through Time's flow. Listen to the Requiem of Spirit. This melody will lead a child back to the desert, as if he wants to go there in the first place. Oh, and almost forgot. You cannot enter Gerudo Valley as a kid, even if you try to come in with a Gerudo mask, so you're gonna have to do this anyway. And with that, we've got our last song, the Requiem of Spirit. And why is that owl there? Go away, owl. We don't need you anymore. No, he may have one last actual piece of useful advice, but other than that, he is as good as dead to me. Because I have no intention of playing Majora's Mask for the time being, because I don't have it. Anyway, with that, Sheik goes away in the desert sand. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that said, I'm going to play the Requiem of Light, and I will see you guys in part 34 when we take on the first half of the Spirit Temple. Okay, let me rephrase that. The first third of the Spirit Temple. Because the child portion of Link is not really that long. See you guys next time. Ciao.